On this episode, we talk about Dean Ambrose taking over New Orleans, J&J Security beating Seth Rollins, WWE special network event in Tokyo, Money in the Bank predictions, and more now on Byte That. Welcome everybody, you are listening to episode 94 of Byte That, a weekly podcast where we discuss, argue, love, hate, and appreciate everything about the WWE and maybe the rest of professional wrestling. My name is Juan Velez, and I am back once again. We actually broke a streak. We usually have the double failure thing, but you know what? We are back. We're together. Of course, I am joined first from Boston, Massachusetts, by Ryan McNulty.
So you mean like a double attendance issue where
Yes.
1 week someone's missing and then...
Failure is a bit of a harsh word.
I think that needed further explanation, but, you know,
It makes it more
that's not
dramatic.
an issue for me as I have the best attendance record in Byte That history.
Those are my hands, by the way. And he's not Silas Young, but he is the last real man of Fight Night and Byte That from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Keith Poshik.
Oh, look at me. I'm Ryan. I'm so good. I got all the attendances. Hi, Juan. How are you today?
It's a hostile environment from what I could tell, so it's going to be a good episode. It's a good one. Okay,
Indeed.
so you guys ready to talk some wrestling?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, you know, wrestling has a funny way. I know Max Landis is going to come up a lot during this. I don't care. You know, there's a plane even go by, so things are just going terrible. But, you know, scalpers, aren't they supposed to be illegal? Or am I missing something?
I mean, you can buy a good ticket and sell it later.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
like illegal.
No, I mean, you have StubHub and stuff, so
Yeah.
reselling tickets is not...
Yes, but they're certified. But this is just some
no,
random...
reselling
Yeah.
tickets...
Well, people
isn't
put tickets
bad.
on StubHub. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'm saying I think it's just like on the premise. You have to be a certain distance away from the stadium, I think. You know,
Well,
you
this
can't
guy-
just be
yeah.
right up where the box office is and you're selling cheaper tickets. But
Yeah,
you know.
I've bought tickets off of like Kijiji, if that's a thing where you are, and haven't gone to jail.
I know we're just crushing
So
the
either
point
I'm
that you're
about
trying to make right now.
Yes. But whatever the case, the fact of the matter is, like, this scalper, he had the perfect ticket for the perfect camera angle for Dean Ambrose, who is going all across New Orleans, or New Orleans, as some people want to say. And I want to get your guys' thought about this whole Dean Ambrose thing, where he has the championship belt, went around partying, going all crazy, something that Adam Rose should have done. And I want to get your feedback. What you guys think?
Adam Rose championship. That's cute.
Yeah. What you think?
You know, it was fun. Exactly what Dean Ambrose with that championship should be. It was just a fun little thing. They actually used social media in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Or posting all those videos and pictures. There was this weird picture where he was posing with a guy that looked like Bray Wyatt, and I stopped and looked like, is that Bray
Yeah, I
Wyatt?
thought
the
That
same
was a
thing
really
for a
good
second.
costume. But no, it was fun.
What you think, Ryan?
I liked it. I mean, like Keith said, using the whole social media thing to actually add depth to the story was nice. Yeah, Dean Ambrose had a seat that normally just doesn't exist at a WWE show. You know, he's usually like a security guard or someone is just there. But, you know, I enjoyed it. You know, anytime anyone gets like a ticket to the show that's a wrestler, it's always like a front row seat so they can watch the match. But I actually really enjoyed Ambrose's, you know, mannerisms and stuff. He was basically acting like a fan while he was watching the match, and his reactions were perfect.
He was basically a smark the way that he, like him and probably like an 8-year-old kid had about the same reaction to that match potentially. But let's be real for a moment. He got special treatment because if any of us decided to dump popcorn on the other side of that rail, we'd probably be in jail right now.
Well, he's a
So I'm gonna say
contracted
unfair.
superstar, so I think we can have a little bit of leeway there. But I actually thought it was awesome, simply because, you know, there's all these Stone Cold comparisons. I know there's the conspiracy. We've even talked off air about, you know, who's the next Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold between the Shield guys right now. And I love that Dean Ambrose really does have his own thing, you know, where he's just having fun. He's not trying to be badass. He's not trying to be crazy. He's just a guy that happens to have a contract and goes all crazy. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's a video where he's promoting tonight's SmackDown show, and he was on a news channel, and just it was so friggin' entertaining. Where you can tell he's a character, but you're almost thinking like, is he drunk? Is he not? And it's because he just has so much fun. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, I want to talk about what happened with J&J Security and Seth Rollins. Obviously, some people thought it was going to be sort of a finger poke of doom where, we're all getting swerved by everything that's going on right now. But we actually got Seth Rollins taking on J&J Security. The split is happening. And what you guys think of the fact that J&J actually beat the champion?
Do you think the split is actually still going to happen? Because I still think that they're going to flip side it come Sunday.
I think there's a chance it can happen. It can still be the long-term swerve, which is like, oh, you saw that happen on Raw, but then, yeah, the fix is happening. But I think it'd be a nice change.
Yeah. It could be, they could be done. I mean, I feel like if you've had a match with them and then you beat Rollins, you're really just going to welcome them back after that. I thought it was a cool match, and maybe this is just their way of kind of trying to put Rollins on his own. He's having tensions with the Authority. Now they're kind of taking away J&J Security. Triple H and Stephanie are kind of being harder on him. And, him and Kane have been butting heads for a while. So maybe this is kind of slowly their way of putting Rollins on his own.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the evolution of the character. Think from WrestleMania all the way till now. Post-WrestleMania, he was acting like an idiot. Like not smart at all. Everybody was catching him off guard. And as time has gone by, he's getting smarter or wiser. And it's getting to the point where he's starting to, the peel the layers. The Authority had to be next to him. No, I'm going to take that off. Even though he's still allied with them. But then he needs to prove himself. And I think that's the character now. And I like that, where he needs to prove himself even though he's the champion. That's something that usually happens when you're going for the championship. So I actually like that change. Do you think that this is where the long-term plan is for Rollins?
Yeah, he needs to eventually just completely stand on his own to be a legit main event guy. I mean, he's already a main event guy, but, he can't just always be like a patsy for the Authority if he wants to be seen as like a legit champion.
Yeah, but I can't keep coming back to the, they're just going to bring it all back to the Authority at the end, because while I agree with you, Ryan, Seth Rollins' place, he does an amazing job being that cowardly heel that always goes back to the Authority, basically goes back to Big Brother to help him fight his fights for him. That Seth Rollins does that incredibly. I'd say probably the best person on the roster right now to fill that role. So why would you take that away?
Well, because I don't think it should last forever. That shouldn't be your entire legacy, is always being the guy that just had the Authority there for him at all times.
But yes, years down the road, you could do that.
How much longer should the Authority last?
Yeah. I actually think that they should do what they were going to do with CM Punk originally. Where Punk and Rollins and Podcast have said that they were going to be the bodyguards for Punk. I think Rollins should get that treatment where he starts to become a little paranoid of the Authority and everybody and just hires his own henchmen almost to mock the Shield, mock everything that's been happening.
In a way, you could really compare Rollins to Edge, especially on SmackDown.
La Familia.
And how exactly, but even consider that the Authority, and then how he had the whole Rated R stable afterwards going out from it. That's interesting.
But you also know that a Triple H Rollins feud is happening at some point. We just don't know when. But that is 100% going to happen. And that could be a possible WrestleMania match this year. Maybe even a SummerSlam or Survivor Series match. Might be a little soon for SummerSlam. But the split from the Authority is happening within the next 2 years at the very least.
So I go back to asking, though, why does it have to happen right now? Why does it have to be a SummerSlam this year? Why does it have to be Survivor Series this year? Doesn't necessarily have to
happen now, but I was just saying, given his, Rollins' tension with literally everybody in the Authority, it seems like they're going that route.
I think they should try to just cool things off for a bit, kind of like when they did with what they did with the Shield. with all the rumors that they were going to split, so they were arguing for a while, and then they got back together, and it felt refreshed. Because everybody talks about the Shield's run as if it was perfect. I remember a lot of people were at one point...
It had some downs.
Yeah.
It had some real downs.
And that's when we got those teases. And then when they went back together, it's like, you know what? They shouldn't split. So I think that's a situation that they should happen. Like, almost pull Seth Rollins out until, like, Brock Lesnar, somebody comes back. Like, there needs to be a new face.
Does WWE actually do that? Yes,
No.
We saw it with the Shield, right? But I'm pretty sure the only reason they didn't split up at the time was because the Shield, like, politicked like crazy to put the brakes on it. So it wasn't like storytelling wise that they were gonna stop doing that. It was, backstage reasons why that didn't happen. So if WWE's doing this, I don't think they're just gonna put the brakes on it for no reason. Unless
the
some sort of outside interference happens again, like backstage.
Yeah.
Basically, just let things have longevity. Not everything has to be right now.
And let's not take away from the fact that Joey Mercury pinned Seth Rollins, all right?
We were getting to that. That's a big thing. By kayfabe standards, Joey Mercury is now a #1 contender to the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but that's what I like, because it's not common that something like that happens. Usually it's like, oh my God, they're about to win, but then they get squashed. So it was really cool to see them get a victory.
He's like the Heath Slater of this year.
I think they should get a tag title opportunity or something for parity's sake. I don't think that J&J will be like a long-term thing, but just like, hey, they beat the champion, so they got to get something in return.
Plus, I think it just goes to show how strong of a character Seth Rollins is, that he can get pinned by Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble and still not look weak because of it.
Granted, it's a distraction finish, and
I know, but say that was anybody else. That would be like, oh my God, you're burying them to the ground.
Yeah, that being said, I think they could have definitely milked it a little bit more when it happened. Like, I thought it was like, this is the main event of Raw, and this just happened. Like, I remember when Shelton Benjamin beat Triple H, even though that was more of a clean win, when that Raw concluded, it was like, holy crap, that just happened. Now, nothing else happened with Shelton after. That sucks. But, with this, you have an opportunity to really
the circumstances,
make something.
I think, were a lot different, though. With this, it's like you have a heel champion that kind of gets outdone by a babyface, and they're distracted and they get an embarrassing win, and it's kind of like a comedy angle. Whereas Triple H was this guy who was so dominant in that era, and you have like this young upstart guy kind of just sneak in a win. So it's like a whole different situation that made Shelton Benjamin's win feel like a much bigger deal. We're not all saying like Joey Mercury is going to be the next big thing now after this. We all know it was just an angle for Rollins to get really pissed off at Ambrose.
I guess to conclude, it seems like Rollins' character always has a wake-up call. Like when I said, he was like an idiotic character, but then he got like a clean loss at that point, and then that sort of woke him up with Randy.
He's the architect. They probably shouldn't make him look too stupid if they're going to call him that.
So it's part of the learning experiences in professional wrestling. And speaking of wrestling experiences, now this guy was the highlight of the night, and he wasn't even involved in a match. So R-Truth comes out, and he's like, ready to take over the world, say that he's going to become the Money in the Bank winner. And then everybody, it was like a bonding moment. Kane, Ziggler, everybody that hates each other temporarily just enjoyed that moment when Kane just had to break the news. What you guys think of that?
It was awesome. Yeah, I got it. It gave, I busted a legitimate gut about that. It was really funny. But that being said, I don't want to see it again. It was something that was amazing once, and it shouldn't come back.
Yes, they shouldn't overdo it. I mean, it was perfectly executed because they've had R-Truth doing kind of funny things, being scared of ladders and spiders and stuff. And then, when Truth comes out, there's a moment in your head where you think, wait, is Truth in this match? And then you realize he wasn't. And the reason that this was so funny is because we are so conditioned to these multi-man match promo segments where everybody one by one comes out who's in the match and says their little piece. So for them to just kind of throw a curveball in this one, to have a guy who thinks he's in the match but actually isn't, was just a perfect way to just have to interject a little bit of comedy in the middle of a segment. So it's just this was a great way to do it because you've been doing this segment the same way for so long. So to finally just kind of do something different was what was so awesome about it. But it's like, let that just be that one awesome, hilarious moment. And
like
don't
next
turn,
month at the next pay-per-view, I don't want to see Truth coming out.
All these matches that he isn't in. It was one great, hilarious joke, and let's remember it that way. We're so
Let
afraid
me go
of
on
WWE
YouTube
killing
in 5
everything.
years and see it.
So, in other words, for the next 2 months, this is what's going to happen, and then we're going to sit here and complain about it.
Yeah, because we all laughed once, everyone, WWE thinks we're going to laugh every single time it happens.
I love it, Michael.
Gotta love Fandangoing.
By the way, congratulations to our Truth. He actually overcame his odds of, he actually cut a promo almost on a ladder in an exclusive WWE.com video. So, I mean, you gotta love the guy. He's like 45 or something, but he feels like a 25-year-old enjoying Christmas.
If you haven't seen it as a fan, go back and watch R-Truth's heel run from a couple of years ago and some of those promos. They're absolutely incredible. On the microphone, R-Truth is extremely underrated.
Absolutely. Seriously, for anybody listening, it was when he stopped doing the What's Up thing. This is between the What's Up and like the Miz tag team. A lot of cool stuff happened there. And talking about tag teams, so this happened not on Raw. That was not the first time. It happened elsewhere. I don't remember if it was a house show or something, but Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, apparently they're now known as the Reapers, I believe. They actually do the 3D now. The Dudley Death Drop, that is now their tag team finish, which, of course, I mean, it got everybody talking. Even Bully Ray, Bubba Ray was tweeting about the fact that, hey, if you want to see that, you bring me into New Orleans. So, of course, inevitably begs the question, SummerSlam, Dudley Boyz versus Harper and Rowan? What do you guys think?
It's possible. I mean, both guys are seemingly available to do this.
Are they single?
And we recently saw Bully Ray, Bubba Ray show up at the Royal Rumble. They could definitely do this. I feel like if you're gonna give, the Reapers the 3D, you can't really do this without having something with the Dudleys, because that move is just too iconic. It is,
It's called the Dudley Death Drop.
It is their signature move, and it is so much associated with them that I feel like it has to be addressed in some way. Maybe not a match, but it has to be addressed.
Yeah, and I would like to see the match. I don't think it's going to happen, but I just generally want to see a Bully Ray / Bubba Ray WWE run. Give him one more shot, because at the end of his TNA run, I think he was absolutely incredible. So why not let him take that and bring it on the big stage?
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up to the plate in the last couple of years, and it sucks that, I mean, not to bash TNA, but he was doing that in a time where it was really easy to poke fun at TNA, and then it's almost like a missed opportunity. And obviously, he'll never get to be the Bully Ray character in WWE. He already had the Rumble appearance as Bully Ray, Bubba Ray. See, it's even hard for me to say Bubba Ray. It feels wrong. That's how good he was. But yeah, I actually think it's going to happen. It's a fun match. It needs no build-up because, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, for all these big shows, people from around the world come over, so obviously they're going to know who Team 3D is. Dudley Boyz, damn it, their brainwashing from the past couple of years is strong.
Indeed, and as a side note, I like that the Reapers are using this as their finishing move. I think it's a move that really fits them.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, we talked about cool things, but it's time where... these next two topics are a little tender because whenever we bring them up, we tend to get frustrated. Number one, the Bellas, who were heel, then they turned face, but they never really turned face. They just showed up as they had the face position. But now when they're starting to actually get over there, it seems like they're going back again. Ryan, I don't know what's happening. I feel kind of sad. I may cry, so
I think the best way to put it is just, I don't care. I don't care because WWE has given me no reason to care. Because they just, there's no thought, there's nothing put into the Divas division. It's just everything's on a whim. Whatever's convenient at the time is what they're going to do. Because they wanted Naomi to get this kind of mean streak going, the Bellas, just for convenience sake, you get to be face. But now we're bringing Paige back into the mix. Guess what? You guys got to be heel again. And that's just how it is. It's completely convenience, no care, no thought. So I don't care.
Yeah, we're pretty much back to where we were a couple months ago, where we were saying that, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason in the Divas division. And it's sad, really, because you'd think they'd learn.
Give the NXT Divas a raise and keep them down there, because you're setting yourself up to die when you come up to the main roster, because they don't give a damn.
Yeah, as much as I'd love to see some of them successful and like the main attraction, I don't want to see what would happen to them on that roster, because it just seems like a bad place. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the stark contrast. Like last week's NXT, I was watching a Finn Balor match, and I'm like, I was wanting to just watch Unstoppable again and watch Sasha Banks take on Becky Lynch. Think about that. You know, in NXT, I don't think of a women's division and the male division. I think of they're all there for a show, and I want to watch them all equally. But in WWE, it's damn. I'm saying damn a lot, but
to even go like further on that point, when they said like, yeah, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks could totally main event an NXT pay-per-view, you believe that? If I told you that Nikki Bella and Paige were going to main event the Elimination Chamber or Money in the Bank, you would probably laugh in my face.
Laugh it in my face. Now, I don't know if we're going from bad to worse, especially after what I just said there, but just a quick update on the Rusev, Ziggler, Lana triangle. I keep saying it's cringy for me. It actually finds a way to make it worse. So we had this ankle injury that happened. Of course, you know, it was death-defying. You saw when she was getting off the ramp, not the stage, but the ramp, and just the impact on her ankle was outstanding, guys. Are you saddened about the situation? I mean, how could Rusev do that, right? Kayfabe talk right now.
Yeah, it was such terrible act on his part. How could he? It's just, I don't know. I mean, Rusev works as the whole like jealous boyfriend thing, but you know, we keep going back to it. Just Ziggler, Lana just seems so out of place, and there was no explanation. So you don't really feel anything's there.
Yeah, it just kind of makes you sad. Like we were talking before about how, hey, maybe like Rusev will go away for a while, come back, like he left this broken man, and then he'll come back and maybe be something incredible. But they kind of just threw that all out the window on Monday now, didn't they?
Yeah, he's hurt. He can't compete. I don't know if keeping him on TV is doing him any favors. Like that,
I really don't think it is.
Only hurt him, because he's best when he's not just sitting there blabbing on about how sorry his life is or how upset he is with Lana. It's better if he's just like dominating people. So maybe just take him off TV.
I mean, the best example was Sheamus. You know, with Sheamus, everybody's just like, I don't care what happens with him anymore. They took him off TV. He was fully healed. They kept him away. And now I love him. If Sheamus were to become champion right now, I would be perfectly okay with that. You go back to the podcast last year, and I'd be rioting, going all crazy about that. I think this is a nail in the coffin for Rusev, which sucks because he is really talented. And all I got to say about Lana and Ziggler is that you can see that they're both trying really hard to get that working differently. And that's what doesn't click. She's doing overly emotional, sad faces, and he's doing overly concerned looks. And that just, it looks like a cartoon. And, you know, for that, there's Boomerang and Cartoon Network, not WWE, although sometimes it gets a little close.
Boomerang is so great.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's so good.
We had a moment there. It was great.
We did. Now I just want to go watch like wacky races. Can we wrap this up?
I do the laugh, but I don't know if it would be, people would be a little bit scared. But, you know, let's take a quick pit stop, make a couple of announcements. Check out the latest video at youtube.com/Byte That Cast. Ryan posted a discussion video talking about the whole Austin Lesnar situation. Of course, there was the Austin podcast that happened last week after Raw. And Ryan, what do you sort of talk about there? I mean, you're here, so might as well, you know.
Basically, I gave my opinion on whether I think this match is actually going to happen or not, and then kind of how I would like to see it play out, given if it did actually happen. But then Austin commented on his podcast, basically saying, you know, he kind of got fired up in the moment and has, you know, said that he doesn't really have plans to do the match. But it's, you know, Austin's comments, he could be trying to swerve us. You never know in wrestling. So He could just be trying to throw the scent off, and it might actually happen. Because you got to think, Dallas, Texas, WrestleMania, Austin's doing something.
I didn't realize I want that match as bad as I actually want that match.
He's pulling a Jericho, where Jericho's saying, "Oh, I am never coming back," shows up at the Rumble. There's no way this is happening, shows up at Raw. Obviously, it raises the demand. The more he says no, the more we want it. So, yeah, I think it's going to happen. By the way, if you go to the channel this Thursday, we have a brand new episode of Fight Night. It is just one episode away from the season finale. We have 3 of your created superstars. They pit off against each other in an Elimination Chamber match.
Elimination triple threat.
Elimination match, not Elimination Chamber match. See,
yes, a triple threat Elimination Chamber match.
This is what happens when the WWE has too many shows together. I just start putting things up together. Hopefully that doesn't happen at work. But whatever, yeah. Do yourself a favor, check that out. There's also a couple of square roundtables. We talk about topics that we don't bring up in the podcast. Invasion angles, WWE 2K16 wish list, WWE as a TV show, a lot of cool stuff happening. And then I got a discussion video going up this weekend. It's probably going to be about Ring of Honor, unless something else comes up, because I'm watching that a lot, hence the Last Real Man reference. Now, this came out of left field and has me way more excited than it should. We're complaining about WWE almost doing too many shows, right?
Yeah.
So then we find out, oh, we're doing a live show from Japan with Brock Lesnar, Jericho, freaking everybody on the 4th of July, and you got to get up like at 6 a.m. to watch this because of the time difference, and I am perfectly okay with it. Yeah.
The 4th of July?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, I'm really disappointed. There's a house show in Winnipeg on the 4th of July.
Wait.
And
let me confirm. You know what? You
no, it is the 4th of July.
Yeah, see,
it is the 4th of July.
What? Oh, so this is going to be like the worst house show ever.
You're getting the B team, my friend.
You're getting like the C team, not even the B.
Man.
Get your tickets back.
I got good tickets for...
So while Keith is all frustrated, I just want to pit... there's a couple of matches that have been announced. The one I got to bring up, obviously, Brock Lesnar wrestling on the network against Kofi Kingston. What?
Yeah, Kofi's dead. But apparently Lesnar just wanted to visit. I forget, he's a Japanese wrestler.
But
I forget his name, so forgive me on that. But I guess he's in poor health, and Lesnar wanted to come visit him, so he might as well expense his travel by working a match. Yeah. So they gave him a match against Kofi Kingston. I don't expect it to be any more than like 2 minutes long, but it's still going to be cool. We're going to get Balor versus Owens as well. And the only thing I want to say is I like that they should do more things like this, like broadcasting house shows and stuff. Even if it's 6 a.m., you can just watch the replay. Just watch the replay on the network. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, so I just want to quickly bring up the card because Keith is still, he's a little confused.
But they're advertising Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns for this show. I'm looking at the press release right now.
If they got people like Balor, Owens, and Lesnar on the card, then they can probably afford to put some of the more main event players at the show in Canada.
I want Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
because he's on all the other house shows, right?
Yeah. But here's the card. So this way you feel better. It's actually... So this one's weird, I guess. The Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores. By the way, just Tokyo crowd. So I'm pumped, not even because it's a show with Brock Lesnar on the network, but because they have to work a different style match because of the audience. And it's at 6:30 a.m. I'm going to wake up. I mean, I'm almost contemplating like streaming my reactions or something. If anybody
July
has any
4th
idea.
Is on a Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're telling me I'm waking up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday,
I wake up
at
5 a.m. every day, so I'm good.
You are a better man than I.
Also, one quick point. I like how it's July 4th, Independence Day, and there's a show in Canada
Tokyo.
And there's a show in Japan. Yeah. What the hell?
So, the card. John Cena and Dolph Ziggler versus Kane and King Barrett. Chris Jericho versus Neville. That has to be an awesome match.
They're doing a event in Chris Jericho's hometown on the same day.
The WWE has turned on the
and
WWE
he's in
universe.
Japan.
Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus the New Day. Obviously, that plan is probably different now. Triple threat match for the Divas Championship, Paige versus Naomi versus Nikki Bella, and then NXT title match, Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Obviously, Finn Balor very well recognized in Japan. He was the founder of the Bullet Club as Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt, so I guess he's taken the spot for Hideo Itami, who was originally supposed to be in this. Wow, I mean, not just this show, but Elimination Chamber, all these outstanding things that are happening. Just what do you guys think? It's overwhelming, but in the best way possible, at least for me.
I personally love these specials, and I love that hopefully, like, it's a little more spaced out this time, and hopefully they keep going with this trend. Like, I think it's great that they're doing network exclusive stuff. It shows that they're putting more and more stock in their own network, so keep it coming.
Yeah, I like that this is even different than Elimination Chamber in the way that it's kind of like this is just a house show and that they happen to be broadcasting live. So I'd like every once in a while, like maybe they show the Madison Square Garden house show in December on the network. Like things like that would be cool. Anytime they happen to just have a special card for a live event, they should broadcast it.
True, and it really can bolster ticket sales for house shows. Because you never know if your house show is going to be one of the ones on the network, and that can be super exciting. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll have a network special on the same day as the house show that's coming to my city, but decided not to broadcast it.
It's okay, Keith.
Sorry, I'm really mad about this.
We can tell. It's great. No, I'm just calling it right now. I think that Elimination Chamber probably did pretty good, and this is the future of the WWE. Not just house shows, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. It's like, you know, let's build up these special events, and then they're on the network. People can either watch it live or watch it whenever the hell they want. It's there. You know, it's not that much different production cost. They still got to set up the ring. Obviously, the networking and all that, no pun intended, is an added cost. But I am so happy because if this does really well, imagine like the outcome. You know, live events from India, all these other places, different audiences, and seeing that reaction live. That's not something we get very often, if ever, aside maybe like a little picture or video package. So pretty eye-opening thing going on. Now, with that being said, it's been a lot of things to talk about, but we still have a pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, guys. You ready for the predictions game?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, I'm so mad.
I'm going to leave Keith last at all these just so he can mellow out a little bit. But first up, we have R-Truth taking on King Barrett in a singles match. Obviously, these are in no particular order, though I do believe this is a pre-show match. Mr. McNulty, who wins?
I am actually going with R-Truth on this one. And this may be an unexpected pick, but I think, you know what, he's going to be rewarded for having such an awesome segment on Raw. And King Barrett is like the biggest jobber in the company right now, so why not?
No, I agree with you. I don't think R-Truth is a very out there pick at all. Just going by superstar momentum, R-Truth has more than King Barrett because King Barrett has literally none right now.
Yeah, King Barrett has taken Jack Swagger's spot. And I don't know where Jack Swagger is. He's still there. But he took a spot.
That's a good look into his future. So, and it's a shame.
Yeah. So R-Truth. Now, I don't like this order. I'm going to make it more interesting. Now, Ryback versus Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship. They were at Miss TV. Keith, I'm going to go with you first. Who wins?
I'm going to say Ryback, just because, you know, Ryback's been doing good things the last couple of weeks, and I'm starting to really like him as the Intercontinental Champion, so I hope he keeps it and doesn't job it to the Big Show, because everybody wants to see the Big Show as Intercontinental Champion, right?
Yeah.
Wait, The Miz is not in this match?
Negative as far as I know.
It was just a Miz TV as far as I understood that just happened to be around this match.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick Ryback because there's no reason to put the title on Big Show.
Yeah, I agree pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. I think that when there's a match with Big Show, I know it sounds like I'm hating a lot in this episode, but I'm just being more honest with, like, you know, there's new things happening. Like Ryback, I actually care about him. So Not on a personal level, but as a wrestler level. I think he's great, so I'm going to go with Ryback. Now, tag team championship match. We have the New Day. I guess it's the combination of Big E and Xavier Woods taking on PTP, the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Ryan, what's going on?
I guess this confirms the Freebirds rule then for the New Day, as Kofi was originally one of the champions. But I'm definitely picking the New Day. There's,
maybe he's in a match later on the card.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying, is this kind of confirms it.
Oh, never mind. I see what you're saying. Sorry, it's the hate bubbling up again.
But yeah, the New Day, they're too good to just take the belts off of them. Primetime Players, it's good to see some spotlight on them, but they're just not ready yet.
Yeah, I think that when somebody does take the belts off the New Day, I think it should be the Primetime Players, especially if they keep going with what they're doing right now. But I don't think Sunday is that time, so I think the New Day is going to win this one.
Part of me is like, you want Primetime Players to win because, they never got that opportunity. But then I watch Titus O'Neil wrestle, and I get scared for other people. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's how it's supposed to look. But I got to go with New Day because they're red hot, and Titus O'Neil's wrestling seems a little careless, but that's just me.
I don't really think you watch Titus O'Neil wrestle. I think you watch Titus O'Neil throw.
Yeah. Is it just me? Just a quick second here. Doesn't it just seem like whenever he wrestles...
Reckless. It looks very reckless.
Yeah. I've said before, Titus is in the position he's in because of all of that stuff. If you go back, and see every chance he's been given, it's been this reckless, somewhat, miserable failure of a wrestling that he does that has really put him in that position.
Yeah, so now we got to get to the interesting match of the night, which is the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match contract. So we have Neville, Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, Kane, and Roman Reigns. Now, I am going to go first with Keith.
See, this is a tough one because it seems so obvious, but going back to my streak rule, maybe it's not that obvious because of it. Because it's just this trend that if something just seems so obvious, the opposite happens. But I don't know, it's still why would you give it to anybody other than Roman Reigns at this point? So I guess that's who I have to go with. I don't feel confident in that, but yeah.
Roman Reigns, man. That's the only option. Roman Reigns. You have a lot of flexibility since he's a babyface. He can just do a formal challenge whenever they want to do it. I think it'll be SummerSlam. I think it sets up perfectly. As I mentioned last week, he can insert himself into the Lesnar-Rollins rematch, and it's a triple threat, just like the end of WrestleMania 31. So I think it's perfect.
I'm actually gonna go with Kofi Kingston. Not even joking about that.
That's what my heart says. Yeah. I agree with you. That's what my heart tells me, because with the whole Freebird rule, that would be absolutely incredible.
Because there's so many ways.
No way.
No, I mean, okay. So here's the situation that we all seem to be forgetting. When you can lose this match, but still main event SummerSlam because you cash in whenever you want. So in theory, Roman Reigns doesn't need this. He can just get an opportunity any other way. So
it's
thinking
true,
about that,
but isn't it convenient for WWE to just give it to a guy who they know they want to give the belt to in the first place, instead of taking a risk on a guy like Kofi Kingston?
Oh, Dana Bryan, hello. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. It was so obvious that they put every obstacle they could.
But that was different because they had two titles back then. If you're talking about Daniel Bryan winning Money in the Bank. Yeah,
you could take a risk on that.
They had the A title and they had the B title. Daniel Bryan's was the B title. Now there's just a title. So by saying that, you're making Kofi Kingston the guy.
Nah, I think the Freebird rule is going to definitely apply because, okay, so here's my thing, and you guys let me know if I persuaded you.
What, like Big E's going to cash in or something?
No, but keep in mind, they have a year. I mean, how many things in wrestling change in a year? The Miz, went from, nobody to main event in WrestleMania to then being nobody again, and now he's sort of in the mid-card. I think it's an opportunity to just try out. Xavier Woods, I think, has a ton of potential. I don't think whoever wins this Money in the Bank is going to win the match, is going to win the championship. I think this is one of the ones where they got to break that streak so it's not so obvious.
Wait, when you keep saying Freebird rule, you're saying the Freebird rule could apply to the Money in the Bank briefcase?
They've openly brought it up. They've openly brought it up.
Yeah, they straight up said
did?
it. Like, if they win, all of us are the Money in the Bank winner.
Yeah, they've openly said it. They're alive with the authority.
Shows how much I pay attention.
Yeah. They're alive with the authority. They brought it up. It makes perfect sense. Plus, think about this. Roman Reigns doesn't win, then it begs the question, what the hell is Roman Reigns going to do now?
All right, look, they like the New Day, but I don't think they like the New Day that much right now, at least, to give them the Money in the Bank. It would be interesting. But if it's not Reigns, they got a couple of fail-safes in there with Sheamus and Orton. Granted, they're not the most interesting choice, but I don't think Sheamus is a terrible choice. But I still think it's going to be Roman Reigns, so we'll agree to disagree, and that's a good thing sometimes.
It's very good. And talking about agreeing to disagree, this is another match where that can happen. Singles match, John Cena versus Kevin Owens 2. Ryan.
There's no way John Cena doesn't win this match. You don't go over that strong against Cena and not have him get his win back. John Cena wins, lol. And it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Of the higher card of this event, if there's going to be a match that is a giant swerve, I think it is going to be this match. And, the thing that you don't see coming. So for that, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens on this one. I think he's going to beat Cena twice in a row.
I agree completely. I think it's going to be Kevin Owens because it's going to be a situation kind of like Rusev, where I've already beaten you and I beat you again, so I'm just going to go back down to NXT or do something else. I think he can completely ignore Cena and have that be the feud, that be the rivalry. Where does it go from here? I legitimately don't know. There's so many reports saying that Kevin Owens is going to be done with NXT pretty soon. I mean, given the rise, the T-shirts, you look at the crowds. The KO shirts are everywhere.
I honestly think that Owens is going to lose the belt to Balor in Japan, because that's kind of cool in its own way. And then Owens is just on the main roster at that point.
Plus, you got to think, how many people are going to be watching the show? Maybe not live because it's at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, but Brock Lesnar's in there. So whoever,
but you give them Brock Lesnar and an NXT title change, everybody will watch that show.
Damn, it's going to be crazy. Please, if Sasha Banks not on this show, put her somewhere in there. I don't care where.
Or throw her in Winnipeg or something.
Or that. Just please keep for the sake of it. Now, main event time. Ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The champion that is beltless, Seth Rollins, taking on the title holder but not champion, Dean Ambrose. Keith.
I'm going to say Seth Rollins in this one. As much as I've enjoyed Dean's little run with the belt, I'm not going to say as champion, but his run with the belt, it's been fun, but I think it's going to be back to business after this, and Seth Rollins is going to get his title back.
I have to stay consistent. I said my little plans going into SummerSlam, so Seth Rollins is definitely going to get his title back, officially retain it. But I think this was a nice little test to see how Dean Ambrose would kind of be as champion. I think it looks pretty good with the belt, better than I expected. So
yeah, totally.
I think they'll make him champion somewhere down the line, but right now they have to go through with the whole Brock Lesnar storyline going into SummerSlam. So there's just not the right time for Dean Ambrose right now.
I think this is where we can all agree, where, Seth Rollins just has to win. If he lost right now, I think it would take away pretty much all momentum because you're stripping him away of the authority, J&J Security, and the championship. That seems a little too much. However, for Dean Ambrose, I'm really curious, much like Kevin Owens, what happens after this because you're already up there and people are treating you like you're up there. So is it a triple threat match at SummerSlam? I think that should be saved for next year's WrestleMania. So even though
we
I
still
got
Rollins, Battleground after this?
Yeah,
right?
we have.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot. Plus, who knows what else at this point with WWE? We never know now.
Yeah, we could get No
shows.
Way Out and fully loaded and insurrection.
Might even get backlash back at some point.
Literally in your house. You never know. So that has
not
been
at my house show, though.
Definitely not.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ryan of the future, as in post-podcast Ryan, and we realized because the Divas division is just so compelling, we completely forgot about the match in our Money in the Bank predictions. But spoiler alert, we all picked Nikki Bella because she's probably going to break AJ Lee's record because, WWE doesn't really like AJ anymore. So, CM Punk, all that business. Anyway, that is our prediction, and we are terrible people for missing that match.
So to please, Keith, we are bringing up your fan questions because, of course, the house show thing has him pretty traumatized. So Mr. Posha can't even talk now. Take it away.
Yes, we got a couple questions this week, and if you'd like to send us an old question, you can do so by heading over to Twitter and sending it to twitter.com/ByteThatCast, or sending it in the form of email. To ByteThatCast@gmail.com. All right. Question number 1 comes from the fourth Bitey himself. Guys, we received a carrier pigeon from our good friend Roach McPoach.
Oh, yeah.
And he asks, what theme song doesn't fit the wrestler it's attached to? I'm going to say currently attached to with this one. Whose song is just very out there and just doesn't work?
I think the obvious choice is Cesaro for his theme. The only other
that theme
thing
just doesn't work.
The only other thing that came to mind, and it's not a current theme, but when Wade Barrett had the I don't care anymore theme, I thought that just did not fit him at all. And here's one thing that might actually surprise people, and I really don't like Randy Orton's theme that much for him. I really don't. It's never really sat well with me. I've never really enjoyed it that much. Burnin' My Light theme that he had, like, people may not like it and it might have been a little annoying, but I almost felt like that fit him better, at least at that time. And I don't think anything fit him better than the Evolution theme.
I'm actually browsing through the roster. The Bunny is still on the WWE roster. Why? that just surprises me. And Hunico, what the hell? Okay, somebody needs to update this. For me, I have to go with either, Bad News Barrett, King Barrett. I think all his themes have never really fit him too much because he's always trying so many different things. His character's changing so much. It's hard to get like a legitimate feel out of that. And then the next one, I actually got to agree with you, Ryan. I would have to say it's Randy Orton because that theme, although it's kind of like John Cena's theme where it's part of the WWE, it never feels like, oh, there's Randy, the guy that, the slithering viper. It just seems like some guy.
I don't
coming
like
out to
the
cool
singer's
music.
voice at all.
Yeah, it's too out there. It should be like deeper, more bassy, lower tone, but that's just me.
Randy Orton's theme is a good song. It's not a good wrestling theme. But I think the person that really stands out for me with this, and that at this current time, is Mark Henry.
What?
I think his theme is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but for a face smiley Mark Henry coming out going like, "Yeah, let's do some wrestling,
break
guys."
his neck.
Yeah, like that is for Hall of Pain Mark Henry, and that is where it should stay. And that's my 2 cents.
I don't think Mark Henry, babyface or not, should ever be the smiling guy. I think he should just come out and kick people's asses, and if it happens to be the people that he beats up that people don't like, then he's a babyface. He should never change his demeanor, and that theme is amazing. But I can definitely see your point. You can't come out happy-go-lucky to that theme. You have to be a badass.
You have to beat them up and break their neck, one might say. But Mr. Roach, thank you for your question. On to the next one from Mr. Dan Wheatley, Balboa's Bomber on Twitter. He asks,
Watley.
What? Watley? What? Like what? Lee?
Potentially. Let's go with it.
All right. People say they want Cena to turn heel, but he's already booed as it is. Does that not make him kind of a heel already?
Yes. I think so. No matter what you do, I think you're going to split the crowd 50-50. So you might as well do what sells you the most merchandise. And that's have the little kids think of him as the good guy.
Pretty much what Ryan said. There's nothing else. If you turn him heel, people are just going to complain that they're turning him heel for the sake of pleasing them. So just keep him how he is.
Exactly. If you turn him heel, all it's going to do is flips. Two things are going to happen. Either it's going to flip side, where all the people that cheer him boo him, and all the people that boo him cheer him, or everybody will boo him because he's a heel. So I don't know. Maybe it could be effective in that way, but I don't really think it would. All right, on to the next one. From Mr. Barney Johnson. From Barnaballs on Twitter. He has a set of rapid fire questions, so I'm just going to throw these out there. You're going to give me a word answer, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right, cool, great. First one. Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. Finn Balor or Hideo Itami?
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, all right. Kevin Owens or Samoa Joe?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. All right.
Damn it. We gotta disagree more.
Last one. Sami Zayn or Adrian Neville or whatever he is.
This one's harder. This one is definitely more difficult.
But
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
Adrian Neville.
Oh
we did it. I think Neville is so much better than Zayn.
Riot. Right. Zayn or Riot.
D-Bar, get the pitchforks.
That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it.
No,
also,
thank you. Oh, seriously, Keith, thank you for that. Making it not completely boring for us all thinking the same thing.
Also, did you guys realize, it kind of just hit me that Kevin Owens is on the roster as Kevin Owens. They didn't take away his two names. He's not just Owens or Kevin.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, that could
It's not
change.
over yet, Michael. But all right, Mr. Barnaballs, thank you for your question. And on to the last one from Mr. Nick M. or King BNB at NKBE1324 on Twitter. He asks,
That 1-3-2-4 just melts my brain because I always want to say 1-2-3-4.
Oh.
I know, believe me, it takes all of my concentration to try that one. All right, let's try this one more time. Do you think there will be any big surprises at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
Well, if you're one, I guess it's Kofi Kingston winning the Money in the Bank, but I really don't think there's going to be anything shocking aside from maybe some, like a surprise win, but I don't think there's going to be some big debut or like a real shocking win. I'm going to say it's going to be relatively as expected.
They've been doing really good with the pay-per-views. They have the Tokyo show. They don't need to do anything groundbreaking. And I think that Kofi Kingston winning, that's what you need. It sounds weird, but you get my point, right? You get it.
No, I get your point. Like, this pay-per-view just seems so run-of-the-mill predictable. It's just, this is who's going to win. It just seems so obvious.
And this is the real pay-per-view, too. Like, Elimination Chamber was like the fake pay-per-view, but I feel like that had a way better build-up than this one. Like,
I agree. And it's funny because they had the exact same amount of time.
Money in the Bank's supposed to be like one of the better built-up, like, B-level pay-per-views. Yeah. And it's just, like, been so thrown together this year. Because, I don't think they knew what they were going to do with the whole Elimination Chamber thing. So Money in the Bank's kind of like suffering for that.
I guess, but to go back to my point, it just seems so run of the mill that it almost seems like something big has to happen. And I think that's going to be Kevin Owens beating John Cena.
Or WWE's fall schedule could be coming early, where what's expected happens, and it's not exciting.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Nick Ever.
What a great note to end on.
Yes, we're all just sitting here pondering about the future of the WWE. So thank you, NKBE1324, for your question, and everybody else. You guys have been awesome. Those are our predictions. Stay tuned for my weekend video. Money in the Bank this Sunday. The Tokyo show taking place July 4th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And for everything else, there's MasterCard, but also Mr. McNulty giving the plugs.
All right, yes, so it is time to conclude another edition of the Byte That podcast. And really what we wanted to say to you guys is Money in the Bank is this Sunday, and you have absolutely no reason to be excited, so you should all be bored and ashamed of yourselves. But anyway, moving on. What you shouldn't be ashamed of is heading over to youtube.com/ByteThatCast and hitting that subscribe button if you have not already. We've got another episode of Fight Night, the most exciting thing you will ever witness in your entire life, and I guarantee that. And if not, well, don't come complaining to me, but it's going to be awesome. If you submitted a created superstar, we were able to feature 3 of them in this awesome match, so you definitely want to head over there and see that, as well as just see what the hell happens, because I guarantee you it is worth your time if you check it out. You can also check out our SRT from last week where we talk about invasion angles and, do they always work or why do they not work? And of course, you can check out our social media for Twitter at ByteThatCast, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/ByteThatCast. Instagram, we post pictures. You can search Byte That. We're also on the app Wrestling Amino. And of course, you can head over to twitch.tv/ByteThat and click the follow button so that anytime we broadcast a stream when we happen to be playing the video games, you will know about it. So thank you once again for listening, guys, and we will see you next week.
And if you want us to stream Metal Gear games or something like that, let us know, because I'm curious about it. But now, yeah, this is where the music ends. So Keith, you're editing this. Make it end.